morning, everybody. Guess what I got? Let's go test them out. Welcome to the Sadsbury Woods Preserve, which is part of the Natural Lands Trust. You might remember I've done a couple of different trails in natural lands, and I've been wanting to check this one out for a while. It's a little bit of a drive. It's down in central Chester County. Sadsbury Woods is the largest contiguous forest remaining in Chester County. The preserve was established in 1997 with, I believe it was 177 acres, and they've been acquiring land since then. It's now 508 acres. It looks like a lot of fields right now, but we are going to be getting into the woods over there, and I'm definitely feeling the need for trees. We've been doing a lot of suburban trails the last few weeks, so I'm going to be glad to get out in the woods. So, as I mentioned, I did pick up my boots. So these are the Hoka Kaha 2 boots. I'd initially gotten them in a half size larger, just because that's been my habit with hiking boots. And they were too big. My feet were sliding around too much in them, so I went down a half size to my normal shoe size. But then they were too snug, and that wasn't going to work either. But fortunately, I have found an old school shoe store that specializes in custom fittings, and they were able to stretch my boots so they feel like an absolute dream trying them on. So I am hoping that the next 2.5 miles are going to set me up for success. The other challenge that I've added to it today is yesterday I spent the entire day at the tattoo convention down in Philly. So I was walking around on a lot of concrete for about 8 hours. So when I got home last night, I was thinking I'm not going to hike today because my feet hurt too much. But I do have a new pain management system, and it seems to have helped. It didn't hurt too bad this morning, so we're gonna see if I can do 2 in a row. All right, but that's enough talking about me. Let's get out and see what's in these woods. little more than halfway up the trail, and this is a very nice trail, except for that like 1/10 of a mile at the beginning that was very typically Pennsylvania. It really has not been bad. I've actually caught myself a couple of times zoning out. For me, the difference between a hike and a walk is how much time you spend looking at your feet. And this is kind of halfway in between. There's a bit of elevation gain and loss, a little bit of mud, but not bad. And it's very well marked. And of course, this time of year, it's not terribly exciting to look at with all the leaves down and nothing growing or blooming. But I would imagine this is a very nice trail in the spring or in the fall. I have seen a couple of long runs of stone wall, which means at one point these were pasture lands. The longer the run, the more likely it is to have been framing in open land to keep the cattle or whatever animals from wandering off, but leaving enough space for them to graze well. It's when you see the shorter runs that it is more likely to indicate human habitation. So I'm coming back up to the crossover for the red trail. I thought that the yellow trail and the purple trail were going to split off at some point, but they never really did. And I did see signs for a blue trail, which I hadn't seen on the map on the website. So I'm going to double check the map when I get back to the car. It's about 34 degrees, and I'm reacquainting myself with my layering needs. My hands always get bitterly cold the first half mile or so of any hike. And it's really tempting to put gloves on, but the gloves don't really help because the hands are cold. But I found that if I go without gloves and just stick my hand in my collar a couple of times, by the end of that half mile, my hands are fine, and in fact right now they're sweating. And I did have to take my down jacket off at like mile 1.3 because I was just very warm. A little chilly now, but I've got my hat to put on if I need to. My new front pouch, I realized, has pockets, outside pockets on them, so I can put my primary water bottle up front, which is going to make hydrating a lot easier, unless I decide to go with my shoulder strap water bottle, which I probably will do in the summer just because I'm more likely to hydrate. And I have one more new piece of gear, but we'll talk about that one another time. For right now, I think I have a half mile, 3/4 of a mile left. So let's keep moving. into the home stretch and hadn't even reached the really rocky section yet, and stepped on a rock I didn't see hidden under the leaves and went right over. In fact, I think you can probably see a dirt smudge on my forehead because I went ankles down, knees down, elbows down, forehead down, and I could not stop it. Oh well. But the boots have been doing a pretty good job. I'm feeling a little bit of an ache, but that's to be expected because I'm still out of shape, and I spent all day yesterday walking on concrete. But I feel better than I did at this point the last couple of hikes I've done. So, and every time I've changed anything in my footwear, it has taken a couple of weeks or even a couple of months for the adjustments, good or bad, to make themselves known. So, but in general, it feels good. I feel very stable, except for going down back there. And so I'm going to call this a win. I have now hit the bedrock part. So I will see you back at the car. Alright, I made it back to the car safe. If anything bad had happened, fortunately or unfortunately, there were 4 cops hiking behind me. So if I had whacked my head on a rock or something, somebody would have been able to get me help, but the trail provides. So good trail, definitely worth checking out. It really, except for a very short rocky section, it really isn't bad. I did look on the map here to see what that blue trail is, and I really don't see anything on this map indicating a blue trail. All I can think is it's these offshoot purple trails here, and I don't know where they go, so unless they're horse trails or something like that for the area. So lots of options. Let me pause for a second here and see how much mileage I did. All right, I'm back. Exactly 3 miles on the dot in an hour and a half. So I'm keeping up my pace that I was doing before all of this went down, which is great. Now, granted, this wasn't a very challenging route, but that's okay. I'm going to take that. I'll slow down when I have to, but to be able to do a consistent pace makes my heart fill with joy. I haven't lost all of it. So that was a great day out that I wasn't going to do, but I'm glad I did. Beautiful day, gray weather, but that's okay. It means it didn't get too hot. I am getting a little chilly now, standing around without my coat on. So I'm going to get in the car and head on home, and we'll go out and do this again next week. Take care, everybody. Go do something fun this week. Bye.